So, welcome to Bible study. Being this is February 2nd, Groundhog Day, hopefully I don't repeat the lesson. That's right. I'm going to repeat every line twice, at least. And you saw it was a stapled handout.
Yeah.
Oh. Part of it's couch work, not homework. Do it at home on your couch. Anyway. So, last time our first four angels sounded the alarm of judgment in Revelation chapter 8, right? Asteroids were falling stars, forests were on fire, bloody oceans, fish dying. There goes that smell again. Poisoned rivers, people didn't drink the water, the fresh water either. And then the sun and the moon were dimmed, like a light bulb, lost a third of the light. Besides probably smoke in the air, and just a very bad place, because that was after all the other judgments that had already taken place, right? So, but those first four trumpets were the start of God really displaying his wrath on unrepentant man. Because that's what this is about, him dealing with the men who won't turn their lives over to Jesus, right? So now we come to the sounding of the fifth trumpet. So let's read what that judgment brings man. You're going to be so excited. Then the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fallen from heaven to the earth. To him was given the key to the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like the smoke of a great furnace. So the sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. Then out of the smoke, locusts came upon the earth. And to them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And they were commanded not to harm the grass or of the earth, or any green thing, or any tree, but only those men who do not have the seal of God on their foreheads.
Wow.
So,
I
big.
didn't realize there was a seal of God. I thought it was all the mark of the beast.
You know, I asked my
But those who receive-
studied this today.
Yeah, but those who receive him are sealed.
Yeah.
Right?
What
Like
is
we're
the seal,
sealed.
though? What is it?
Are those the Jewish guys?
Well, they are definitely sealed, but I think it's all the Christians are sealed, because I don't think any of them are going to get harmed that have received Christ during that time, because they have a seal on them, so they're going to be protected. And definitely those young Jewish men that are traveling around witnessing, they're definitely protected.
So are they chipped, Kathy?
Chipped, yes. You know why? Because God loves them. God loves them, and he chipped them. So, we can quickly identify this star, because it says a star, right, as an individual being, for the star is given the personal pronoun of he. So that's one of those figurative speeches. It's not literally a star falling out of heaven with a key, it's a being. He's the star of the hour, you might say.
Is that the 9-1?
Is it the what?
Revelations 9?
Mm-hmm. 9:1 through 4. So we know this is a being, not a star, okay, even though it's called a star. But the question is, who is he, right? So some have suggested throughout time, he is Nero, back in the past.
He is what?
Nero.
Oh.
Some say he's a fallen angel. Others say an evil spirit. Others say Satan. Some even say he's Jesus. So you can get a wide variety of explanations for who this being is.
Okay, mine does not say he.
Okay, that must be a translational thing.
What verse?
Let me go
In
back.
verse 2 when it says he opened the earth, the abyss.
To him was given the key. So actually him,
Mine says he.
Mine says the star was given the
The
key.
star was given the
Right.
key, and then verse 2 says, when he opened the abyss.
So I thought that was the angel opening the abyss.
nope, the fifth angel sounded his trumpet
Well, it says the star was given the key.
and a star.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
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 So it's a personal being, right? He's got a pronoun.
I understand now. Mine does say him.
Okay.
I was putting the he with an angel.
Okay. So anyway, there's a variety of explanations of who this star is. Okay. But I'm going to tell you my reasons why I don't think it's Satan or a fallen angel. Okay. Because some will lean to that because it's going down to the bottomless pit. So a lot of them want to assume it's Satan or a fallen angel. But I'll give you my reasons. Okay. So, this star is given the keys to the pit and comes down from heaven. That's my number one reason.
Right.
But I was going to say, even Satan can go up into
Okay, well,
heaven and talk to God.
true, but at a certain point he's kicked out. But let me keep going. This is my logic, okay? So you know that's probably all messed up. So there you go. So number two, this being commanded these locusts and they obeyed.
Does yours say the person came down from heaven?
Mm-hmm.
Mine says sky.
Mine says sky.
That can be translational because a lot of times the word for heaven can also be translated from the sky, the skies. And you can see that it's the same word. Like if you follow the Bible Project, they use that terminology a lot. The God of the skies, the kingdom of the skies. So instead of kingdom of heaven. It's a thinking that it's very far away. The skies, the heaven. Okay, so number three. These locusts were commanded to only harm those who do not have God's seal on their heads. So the lost, the unrepented. This is who they're told to harm.
So why would Satan do that? Right?
Exactly. What does he want to harm? He wants to harm those who believe.
Yes.
Right? Why would he harm those who are already pretty much doing what he wants?
Right. And all these trumpets and things are coming from God's punishment.
Right.
Satan has no part of this.
Yeah. So that's a real big one for me right there, because why would he go after his own, so to speak?
Because he doesn't care about anybody.
Well, true. True, he doesn't. But, you know. So number 4, in Revelation 21, an angel comes down out of heaven again with the key to the pit to lock up Satan. So this is my logic that it's an angel. Okay, I think it's an angel called to do God's work.
Well, and that just goes true with all the other chapters leading up to this. These angels, even though it's bad things happening to the earth,
They're
they're
doing-
obeying God's command.
Exactly.
This is God's punishment. I mean, we had the horsemen.
Right.
We had everything else.
So would you call them, Satan? Because no, they're doing God's work. They're called out to take care of a judgment, right? When you go back to Exodus and the night that the firstborn are killed, it's an angel of death that's sent out to do the work. It's a specific angel for a specific job. Okay, so this leads me to believe that this star is an angel serving God. That's my thinking. You can do with it what you want. You can go study it and see if you come to a different conclusion, but that's my conclusion.
Well, and this is all the judgment that God says throughout the Bible will happen.
Right.
It's not
It's stuff he's set up and planned and organized and prepared for. So the pit is God's prison, basically, for evil, and it's under his control. Satan or the fallen angels cannot be in charge of the pit and its contents. God is, right? Otherwise, they'd just be out of there all the time, right? Why stay in the pit? So I don't think Satan holds the key to the pit. It's not his pit. It's God's pit for him, basically. So the theories about it being Satan and the fallen angel just don't make sense. Don't seem correct to me. But that doesn't mean I'm right. It's up to you to decide. So this leads me, after looking at this, because you look at these words, you'll see abyss, and it all depends on your translations, the pit. You'll see other words in the Bible, Hades, hell, Sheol, right? There's a lot of different words, and they have some slightly different meanings and purposes. So what I did was, because the Hebrew in the Old Testament and the Greek in the New Testament have these different words with different meanings, it can get very confusing. Like, what's Sheol, what's Hades, what's the difference, what's the abyss, why are there differences?
Bad.
Huh? It's all bad?
Yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah, they're all forms of bad, most of them, right? So what I did was, on your page, I gave you a couple of commentaries. You can do further research just to give you some verses and some summaries of those words, of some of those words. And if you have time and want to, you can go back and look up and read those verse references. Okay? So basically, there's two levels, the way I take it. There are two levels. There's the Sheol, depending on if you're doing Hebrew or Greek. Sheol or Hades is one level, and then there's a deeper level, the abyss, the pit, the bottomless pit. And that's where the really bad stuff is in the bottomless pit. Whereas the level above that, Sheol and Hades, you would say is a place where those who don't know the Lord are awaiting judgment.
Right.
Okay? That's the way I interpret and understand it. Then when the end comes, when everybody is finally judged, those who don't know the Lord and Satan, they're going to the lake of fire, the final place. Okay, so it's a change. So that'll give you a jump start on looking up some stuff if you're interested in understanding that subject better. I assume none of you are going there, right? I don't want any of you going there, right? So it's not as big of a concern for you. But when you're reading your Bible, sometimes it gets a little confusing because you see all these different terms. It's like, what do they mean? So this section is really talking about that bottomless pit, the really bad lower place where all this really evil stuff has been stored up, okay? So let's go on and read what happens after, or go back and read Revelation 9:2.
Does that correlate in any way to the idea of purgatory that the Catholics believe in?
I think purgatory came out of perhaps that Sheol concept or Hades. You see when Jesus did that parable, the story of, what was it? Was it Lazarus? Seeing across the pit, the abyss was the pit, like the chasm between the two places. And one was what was it called? Paradise. It was a holding place for those who knew God, believed in Jesus. And the other side was for those who did not. Jesus went down and took them up from the good side. Abraham's bosom.
Yes.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
But wasn't Lazarus, not the Lazarus, but his
No, another Lazarus. But that was a second. I'd have to go back because there were two parables that had a similar
right.
idea.
But,
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of that difference. The purgatory, I think, came from that Sheol Hades holding side.
That's where that idea comes from.
Yeah, and I think they can pray you out of it.
And money.
And money. Yeah.
I'm confused.
See what I mean? It's a confusing subject.
So is it like possible for them to get to heaven in that like holding space? No.
Mm-mm.
Then why aren't they already in the pit?
Because that day has
Judgment
not
hasn't
come.
happened yet.
The final judgment day. They're just in a holding cell.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, you can go, look those up if you want to. Because I know for me, sometimes I thought, no, wait a minute. What's Sheol? What's hell? What's Hades? What's the difference? So that's up to you if you want to go deeper. So let's go back to Revelation 9:2. And he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like the smoke of a great furnace. So the sun and air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. So pitch black smoke rose up. We only have a sky that's been darkened. The sun has been dimmed. The moon has been dimmed. And now we have more smoke. We have the forest fire smoke, right, that's going on.
Fog.
It's just, and fog in the Central Valley.
Truly fog.
Really, really bad
Yeah.
fog.
We know what color
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, so it's really bad and it's hard to see. I mean, the daylight, it's even hard to see, right? But out of it rose the large locust-like creature emerged from the bottomless pit or abyss. And this is one of those images where someone tried to draw what was written. Creepy. When you hate to see a bunch of those fly out of the pit.
Well, I lived in a house on the prairie, and they went nice.
The locusts, no.
They
Well, these
went
look-
right-
These locusts are even meaner.
Locusts came over.
Okay.
They ate everything.
So these creatures like these locusts, as well as the angels that are bound in the Euphrates River, which we'll get to next week, are God's creations prepared for this tribulation period to dispense his wrath on rebellious man. And there are differences of opinions about this as well. And we'll talk about some of that this week and some of it next week. But these, in my opinion, I will say in my opinion, these are creatures that have been designed by God, set aside for this purpose. Just like you can read scripture where it says he's stored up hail in the heavens for his purposes. He prepares things, he gets them ready. So he stored them down in that bottomless pit for the time that was time to release them.
So, but there's 4 different types of locusts, and I read it in Joel, and I read it in Ezra or something, that are prophesying this time. There's crushing, there's,
What they do.
there's all kinds, there's 4 different types of locusts.
Did they
Okay, we're not
list
gonna
the
cover
house
all
on the
that
prairie in there
today.
anywhere?
Little house on the prairie.
Did they have the little house on the prairie? Locusts?
No.
See.
We'll have to cover that later because I didn't do all that this time.
I thought it was interesting that locusts, there's no difference between a locust and a grasshopper, except that it's mob mentality, basically.
I think it's also bigger.
I didn't know it's the same thing.
Do they say it's the same
That's
size?
what I read anyway, it was the same thing, but when they get together and swarm, they're
Carol?
locusts.
Yeah.
Carol, was that in Joel? You
Yeah,
said?
I'm looking for it right now.
No, that's okay, I just want it down as a reference.
I could be wrong, but that may be.
I'd always been under the impression they were bigger.
Swarming locusts, crawling locusts, consuming locusts, and chewing locusts. And that's in Joel chapter 2, verse 25.
Well, these are horse locusts.
I'll,
It says those, yeah.
I'll try to go back and look at those because that didn't come up when I was doing this.
But it's also referred in another verse too, which I don't have.
But these locusts have a gold crown, so they're special.
Yeah,
They're
they're
special.
different, they're different.
Yeah, it says there's horses.
I'm just glad I would be there.
Nobody, yeah, that's the blessing. You aren't going to be there, right, ladies? No. Okay, so let's read on. Let's read on. We got all of it?
Moving right along.
Moving right along.
Then out of the smoke, locusts came upon the earth, and to them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. And they were commanded not to harm the grass of the earth or any green thing or any tree. So they normally eat greenery, right? Can't do that. But only those men who did not have the seal of God on their foreheads. And they were not given authority to kill them, but to torment them for 5 months. Their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it strikes a man. In those days, men will seek death and will not find it. They will desire to die, and death will flee from them. So horrible. Their mission was only to torment for 5 months those who did not have the seal of God on them. So all the unrepented men, all the undecided men and women.
Oh, it didn't say.
We could leave the women out,
Always
right?
drag us down.
Right, they was taking.
But to me, this is another demonstration of God protects those who are His. You know, this tribulation period was meant for the rebellious, and He's going to protect His people that have the seal. You know, because He loves us, right? Even those that wait till the last minute, right during the tribulation, to accept Him, He still loves them, right? So, and if you think about the bad things that are happening to Christians during that time period, the most of it's coming from the Antichrist himself, right? And his minions. He's not letting them get food. He's imprisoning them. He's going to be killing them. it's not God doing it to his people, it's the Antichrist. So, the poison from the sting of these locusts is so bad that men will seek death, but God will not allow them to die. Which is interesting. So does that mean that they're going to be attempting suicide and God will prevent their death? So can you imagine? That's like a whole nother torment, right?
Talk about Groundhog Day.
Yes, Groundhog Day, yeah. Their medicines won't help them. Nothing's going to help them.
So is this square one just another guy's interpretation of
Uh-huh.
Wow. Is that a little person down there?
Yeah, poor little guy. Ah! Oh, this is like that movie Them, except it's giant ugly locusts.
I don't watch that stuff like that for real.
It's the giant ants in the 50s that attacked that small Arizona town.
Oh, I think.
Did we watch that?
I think I
turned it off. I've seen that movie.
Okay, well one night we'll have a Them movie-thon. No.
It was.
I'm not coming that night.
It was a movie, right? And then it
That's what
ended
it
up being
says, is there,
No.
it says the locusts look like horses.
So, can you imagine being chased down by one of these? Ooh. I mean, and it's a nightmare walking, flying up to you, chasing you. They're chasing you, torturing you. That's horrible.
Kathy, do you remember a few years ago, some of you will, when the locusts swarmed in Alabama?
Yeah.
Oh,
After the earthquake.
cricket.
Millions of you rule the world. They've been bad with us at night.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's bad. I've been in the middle of red bug outbreaks back east. That's a horrifying, ugly thing and mess. And I've been here with the cricket outbreaks.
Oh, that was terrible.
And these are gonna be huge.
Yes, these are gonna be huge.
When I worked
Scary.
at Kmart, you could hear the crickets popping under the shopping cart.
Oh, yeah.
Just driving down the street.
All the restaurants had to close.
You can get pizza, they were all over the place.
Oh.
So you're grossed out by that. You'll be really grossed out by this, right?
Thank the Lord, I will not be there.
Yes, thankfully.
You gotta get other people not to be there.
Yes, exactly. That's the reason.
Study.
It's not that we need to know this stuff for us. It's for us to realize what?
She said he has nice hair though, you know.
Yeah, that is the one thing. He's got pretty hair. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's read a few details here. The shape of the locust was like horses prepared for battle. So they're pretty good size, aren't they? On their heads were crowns of gold. They're crowns of something like gold. And their faces were like the faces of men.
But they had women's hair.
But they had women's hair. They had hair like women's hair, and their teeth were like lions' teeth. Scary coming at you. Horse size. And they had breastplates like breastplates of iron. So sounds like it's hard to kill them if they're coming after you, right? And the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots. Chariots, not just one, chariots. That's how loud they were.
I think we should go back to the 23rd Psalm.
It's a much nicer, nice thing.
Nicer images.
And they had the sound of chariots with many horses running into battle. That's how loud they are. So you know they're coming when they're coming.
Yeah.
That's loud. They had tails like scorpions. And there were stings in their tails. Stings. Like with a scorpion, I don't know if they only get to give you one sting.
No,
I forget the rule. Can they do more than one?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
I learned all about scorpions.
So their power was to hurt men 5 months. 5 months they're just flying around making that noise. You're just trying to get to work.
You're just trying.
You're trying to catch the one bus that's running. The one bus that's running and the locust is chasing you.
That looks like
Hiding in
that.
caves.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone's working at this point.
Somebody is. Antichrist got people working.
Okay.
They're rationing out food, etc.,
Oh,
etc.
yeah.
Somebody's working.
Fake seals.
They got to clear roadways. find places for people to sleep. There's work going on. This is a very horrifying description. Very scary. A nightmare none of us want to experience.
I'll probably have nightmares tonight.
I'm sorry.
Scorpios and chicks.
Here, maybe it looks like this.
Okay.
I'm sleeping
Yeah.
with a puppy tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, my puppy bites, so anyway. Some will teach, I've heard this one, that they're really just helicopters and that they're what's chasing people and shooting at people. But that doesn't make sense because during this time period, how many helicopters could there be still flying?
With girls'
And
hair?
with
Women's hair?
with a woman, yeah, it just,
And they're coming out of an abyss, come on.
I know,
And that is not a dark horse.
no. But this has been one of those theories that floated around quite a while back in the day. So you'll hear all kinds of theories because it's militaristic and, it can kill men, and it flies. So I guess it makes a lot of noise.
I feel like people feel the need to take what God says and make it so they can understand.
Exactly.
And if you had that, then you would understand God, and that's not.
No, yeah.
It's so
So let's read the next verse, Revelation 9:11. And they had as king over them the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in Greek he has the name Apollyon. So this verse creates some confusion for people as well. An angel named Abaddon in Hebrew meaning destruction, or it's Apollyon in the Greek, was their king. So there was somebody, a creature, an angel, in charge of these locusts. So this is another one where they'll say, well, that's Satan. So that means Satan's flying loose, leading these locusts around to sting people. I don't necessarily
Well,
buy that.
If you think about it, he knows where he's going. He wants to destroy as much of God's creation as he can.
True. I mean, it's possible, but it also could just be an angel given the job.
He was given permission to torment Job,
True.
so I mean, he could be given this assignment, and he would love doing this.
True.
And he also has the legions of evil spirits that can do some.
Yeah, and that's some of the theories out there, that this is Satan leading his demonic forces, and that's what's going on. And that's some of the theories. But I'm not so sure about that. I kind of lean to this is God's creation for judgment, and that it's an angel given a specific job to lead and command and direct them to do the work. Just like the 4 angels we're going to read about next week, they are angels given a job. And that's why I kind of lean to it's not Satan as much as it's just a specific angel that's called destruction because he's going about destructing things, with his army of locusts. So what's interesting is Proverbs 30:27 says, locusts have no kings, yet they all advance in ranks. But this group, they have a king. They've been given a king, which is kind of a weird twist. So, locusts have no kings.
Maybe they have queens.
I don't know, never heard. I know ants do.
Yeah.
I don't know about locusts.
And bees.
But so it's an interesting thing. Did God allow Satan to rule these locusts just to do this job, or is it an angel? And I don't know that there's any way we'll ever necessarily know. We will in the end, perhaps, but not now. It's not going to change our lives one way or the other. We just know that bad stuff is going to happen. This is going to be a really horrible judgment. And a lot of pain and suffering is going to go on. And these are people you want to come to know the Lord. And you would hope maybe this judgment would reach their hearts. Okay, something's wrong here. I need the Lord. But as usual, there's going to be many people that don't, right? So let's read the last verse of this judgment, Revelation 9:12. One woe is past. Behold, still 2 more woes are coming after these things. He decided that's just enough, right? This This locust judgment is a woe, so it sounds even worse than the other judgments, and 2 more are still coming. Only time I hear woe is when you're trying to stop your horse. Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean it's spelled differently?
Yes.
You know, we got school teachers over there in the corner.
Can't fool them teachers.
All the smarty pants are over there.
So a woe in the Bible is seen as God's righteous anger and or great grief, anguish, or affliction. So it depends on how it's used. But this is his righteous anger, and this is the first woe of 3 inside this judgment.
And I want to point out, it still is God's grace.
Mm,
They still can come to God,
exactly. He hasn't killed them
you know?
and given them a
And
chance.
I think I don't know, he's so gracious.
Well, he uses the good and the bad to win people to him. He reigns on the just and the unjust. That's what Terry said on Sunday, right? Was that Sunday? Yeah, I think that was Sunday. So at this point, though, this is the final judgment, the final chance he's giving man on earth to repent, turn around. So let's look at another viewpoint of this trumpet judgment. We're going to go back to the viewpoint we were looking at last week, the historicist. The word I still can't quite say. Historicist. Say that 20 times. And this was the Seventh-day Adventist view. They're the one denomination that is held still in this view. The fallen star identified as Muhammad. They see it as Muhammad. Yep, representing a religious leader who fell or diverged from the established church to unlock a new destructive force. See, they're historicists. They think everything in the Bible plays out sequentially historically. So whatever event's coming up, this one they see was the time period of Muhammad, and he was the fallen star.
It's already happened.
Already happened in their mind. They don't see the future in this, they see the past.
think they're giving Muhammad a lot of power there.
Yeah, well, listen, yeah, it is. The bottomless pit and smoke, the smoke symbolizes the false doctrines of the new religion that obscured the sun or the gospel truth over the Eastern Empire. So his false teachings of Islam were symbolized by the smoke, covering up the gospel.
Isn't that making
It's-
him like he's like Muhammad was like some kind of heavenly? I mean, like
It sounds like, well,
you're putting
they're,
him a mere mortal and like a heavenly position, like he was an angel or.
well, they're looking
one
at
of
it as
God's-
figurative, right? The star falling from heaven is more like a man who has fallen from grace from God, you know,
Yeah.
and caused all this problem.
But he got used to the bottomless pit.
Yeah, well, then, okay, so the locusts, these represent the Saracen armies. Saracen. What is it with all these words? Saracen armies. Those were the Arabian armies that he led. So that's what they think the locusts were his armies. And the 5 months interpreted as 150 years of the primary Saracen conquest. So they apply, you say, how do you get 5 months and 150 years, right?
Yeah.
And theirs are doing the year-to-day principle, and Muhammad's time was about 100 and, or how do they calculate? Did I write down all the calculations?
5 times 30 would be 150 days.
Yeah, they calculate his time from when he started to when the caliphate moved into its capital in Baghdad, and that's how they calculate 150 years. And it's based on that 5 months times, 1 day per, anyway.
So the Bible's gonna use Muhammad's time for this little section.
For this section.
Yeah.
Because they see each spot as another piece of history, another piece in time, chronologically happening.
Depending on what's going on.
Okay. They don't see it as future.
Do do they believe this as it was predictive at its time when John was writing it, but it played out already before it got to us?
Yeah,
Okay.
Except I think those people probably killed people and these locusts were commanded to just harm it.
yeah.
Yes, they're already.
There are always little
Lots of
flaws.
discrepancies here.
There's little flaws in these ideas when you read them, and yeah, yeah. Well, I'm trying to be kind.
Sounds like big flaws to us.
Yes.
To them. they
To them,
can figure it
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Baseball?
No.
All right, Claudia, it's all right.
That's my deaf ear. I said something like baseball.
No.
Oh, big flaw.
Big flaws.
Oh, big flaw.
Baseball can have some big flaws, but not in this case. So the crowns of gold for them refer to the turbans worn by Arab warriors. Faces of men and hair of women refers to the bearded faces and the long hair typical of Saracen soldiers. So there were a few other things, but I didn't write them down.
I don't think they're okay next week for the second
Miss
vote.
Piggy's
You gotta be strong, Connie. Gotta be strong.
Sarah said, you said were Arabian
It's-
troops.
Yeah, his troops.
Mohammed's.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did I miss this? Has the Antichrist already had people take the mark of the beast yet?
No, not yet. We're getting it. We're not yet. So yeah, only people that have marks are God's people that have His seal, but not the rest of the lost or independent. That has to
Truly, these all these unsaved people
could still.
potentially come to Christ.
Yeah, exactly. So this is, we're right about almost at the halfway mark of the tribulation period. We're right near the end of the, we're hitting the middle. So no, the mark of the beast, that all happens after that. So all these people still have the chance to repent. So,
Still wielding his grace for people. I mean,
yeah,
anybody who said it's,
yeah. Yeah, it is a grace. It's a mercy to show one more way to try to turn people around. But you don't want anybody going through this. Not at all.